Hello everyone, this is Robin and today my video is about retail effective communication in English. Mainly, we're going to speak about how to talk to your clients in English so that they understand you and they like you actually. It is important. I'm going to share 5 tips on how to improve your communication in English with your clients. So, tips number 1 is when you talk to your clients, make sure you are happy, you are smile, you are nice. Nobody wants to talk to a person who is grumpy or sad, who has a poker face, no emotions whatsoever. That's why whenever you have any conversation with your client, be nice, be smiley, smile away. As they don't forget to ask about how things are. And we are going to tip number 2. Move to small talk. Make a small talk as soon as you start a conversation with your client. You have to break the ice before you get down the business. Or you have to break the ice before you get down to business. This is the very common practice in the Western world. Not only in the United States, most European countries would do the same things. It is basically common practice. Like I said, you have to talk about unimportant things before you get down to important things. And so, this is called small talk basically. Small talk is a little bit challenging for Eastern European, I would say for most Asian countries as well, but Western world really appreciate it. So, if you learn how to make good small talk with your clients, be sure that you are going to become friends with your clients and partner long-term partners as well. And next, tips number 3 is being polite. Of course, if you ask a native speaker about being polite speaking English, they may not understand what you are trying to say here because for a native speaker they communicate business is always polite. I mean, there is no such thing as polite or impolite, but for us, non-native English speaker, non-native English speakers, there are some differences. That is why if we compare, for example, if we compare business English phrase with a business Russian phrase, there are going to be a different. If you look from the English speaker perspective, you will see that the Russian phrase is more demanding. That's why my recommendation: do not demand, ask for things. Wherever you have to make a request, do not demand it. Do not like it. Be very imperative, like do not say do this or send me your email ASAP. But instead of demanding, you ask for things, so be sure you use such phrase, such construction as could you. Could you is the minimum you can use in the order to sound polite and not demanding. You would be better to saying would you mind, for the example, would you mind me doing this, or would you mind doing this for me? It is very common for native English speakers. However, non-native English speakers don't use this phrase a lot. Instead, they use the phrase that sound as it is a demand. But remember, we don't demand, we ask for things. And the next tip is number 4, active listening. Active listening, again, this is another technique that you should be aware of in order to succeed in your communication. So I'm gonna tell you what is it. Let's say you are speaking with a native speakers as a client, and your client is telling you something, and what are you doing at this moment when the client is speaking to you? You like saying that, right? You are standing there, and what's happening? Nothing. You are not reacting anyhow, but you have to react, and this is called active listening actually. So whenever the client is telling you a story, you have to show him that you are involved, right? You have to show him that you are interested in what's going on, and you want to know more. Active listening is not about interruption. It is not interrupting somebody, because if you, if you were if you were telling me a story, and if I say something, oh really, that's interesting, tell me more. Phrases like this are not about interruption phrase, but this is about active listening. By using those short phrases, I'm letting you know that I'm listening you. Whatever you are saying is actually important and interesting. And by saying those phrases, I make you feel better, because you understand that you know you're engaging, and this information is useful, and the person wants to talk to you because the person is listening to you actively. So, active listening is something that you have to learn and also practice. You have to practice all the time when you speak with your international clients. Okay, the final tips. It is about intonation. Do not speak monotonously. When you are monotonous, you sound bored. Do know do you want to I'm sorry. Do you want your client to think that you are not interested in what your client is saying? I mean, do you want them to think that you are bored with the conversation? You might as well like yawn, and then you don't want them to feel that way when you communicative with your clients. When you respond their questions or comments, you have to sound interested. How can you sound interested? That is your voice. Have you noticed how I changed my voice? Yes, I did this in order to kinda like calm and change the pitch of my voice. I change the pitch of my voice, so you change the picture, right? So the same thing when you communicate with your clients, you change the pitch of your voice. Sometimes you can go louder, and other words you go down with your voice, and this is how you create the feeling of the wave. Because it is like Some the words you pronounce them with a higher pitch, while the other words go down, and this help you to sound more engaging and not honest, and therefore you sound interested. Your client understand that you are on the same page. You are happy to have this conversation and you want to be helpful for your client. And to sum up, I would like to say that those tips are useful and good not only when you communicate with your client but also when you communicate with your colleagues or with people outside you, such as your office. It doesn't matter. Those are key tips for effective communication for work and in daily life. Okay, so it is my review about active communication tips. Hope you like it. See you and thank you very much. Bye bye.